the demonstration section of the Information Literacy Program for ACA here at Halifax Community College. By way of introduction, my name is Mark Finney. I currently serve as Director of the Learning Resource Center here at Halifax Community College. We hope that you enjoy this session, and at the completion of this program, we're going to set you up to play a game. I think we will enjoy that as well, and that will show how much you've learned in terms of what we showed you today. Okay? First of all, let's start off looking at the library and how you check out resources. Basically, for all of you students that are new and returning students, if you've never checked out resources before, you will come to the library's front desk and you will fill out this card and that's your name, address, and telephone number. And then we will give you a barcode on the back of your ID. You will use that barcode anytime you want to check out any resources here in the Learning Resource Center. You have to have that card, and that is for our protection as well as for your protection as well. I can't tell you how many times people have said, I didn't check out a particular book, my friend did. And this is for your protection because we have to see your ID and be checked out to your barcode. Okay? It takes about 5 minutes to fill this out. And you will do that once, and then each year we'll update the information if your address changes or any other information changes. Okay? Any questions about that? Okay? Now, everything I want to show you today is accessible on campus. However, you can also access everything off campus as well. We will go in exactly where I'm going to show you today, and then we have these passcodes for you. You will basically use these passcodes to locate or to sign into the database that we're going to show you today. These flyers are also housed at the front desk. So what you will do is that you will bring your ID, and then we will give you a brochure. Remember, you only need this if you're going to access information from home. Anywhere on campus, you will go in exactly like I'm going in today. Okay? Questions about that? None? Okay? Let's rock and roll. The first place we're going to start is to locate information in the library. You start off with the libraries on the school's homepage, www.halifaxcc.edu. It takes you to this particular screen here. Then you're going to click on Learning Resource Center, and then it takes you to the library's webpage. Okay? Across the blue bar, it gives you links. Starting off with, if you just highlight general information about the library, that basically gives you our information policies, as well as the library hours and our holidays, campus map, internet acceptable use policy, memberships, and remote access, which I just talked about a few minutes ago. Questions about that so far? Good? Okay? As you come across CC Link, and we'll go back to CC Link, that's where you're going to locate books or videos in our library and libraries across the state of North Carolina. Staffing gives you information and pictures about the staff here at Halifax Community College's Learning Resource Center, and then the button for electronic databases, which we'll go back to in a few moments. Okay? Let's start off with CC Link. What this is a link to all libraries or community college libraries in the state of North Carolina. So that means that not only do you have access to resources here at Halifax Community College, but you also have access to resources at any other community college in the state of North Carolina. And we'll talk about how to access resources worldwide in a few moments. Okay? All are listed alphabetically, so you will come down to Halifax Community College and double click on it. This is the interface that you're going to use to locate information. This is the search box that you're going to use. You're able to search by words and phrases. If you have the author's name, you can search by author. If you have the title of a book, you can search by title, subject, series, periodical title. Okay? Let's start here, and then we're going to put in a title, or we're going to put in the subject rather. It's the capital punishment. And we can click on enter or the search box. As you can see here, at the top it gives you the number of titles. So there are 18 titles on capital punishment here at Halifax Community College. Now, what are you looking at? First of all, it lists the particular books or videos. In blue is the title. Below that, the author's name, the call number. We're going to talk about that in a few seconds. And the number of copies and whether or not that resource is available. To the right is the date of publication. So say, for instance, you can only use 10 years worth of information. You know, you can't find a resource then prior to 2003. Okay? Questions about that? Now, let's click on the first book here, and the way you find information about the book is you click on anything in blue, just like with the internet. And it breaks down that information again. Gives you the title, the author, the publisher, the publication date, so forth and so on. Now, at the bottom, as I talked about before, the call number. Now, here at Halifax and most colleges and universities, we use the Library of Congress headings. You probably remember from high school, from the public library, the Dewey Decimal System, the 100s, the 200s, the 300s. Okay? Here at Halifax, we use the Library of Congress, which is an alphabetical numerical system. Okay? So, once you start searching through the library, you see that all of our books are listed from A to Z. But then, each book is broken down by the Library of Congress. So, as you see here, the number is KF 9224C2 2013. That's the number that you're going to use to locate information. Now, how do you read this particular number? First of all, alphabetical order. KA, KB, so forth and so on, right? And then, say for instance, you have a number of books with KF. Then you will go to the number, 9224. So they'll be arranged in numerical order starting off. Now, the second and third line are read in place value. You remember from math class, you read alphabets, then numbers, and you start from the left and to the right. So that's how you're going to read this particular number here. And so, for instance, you have a catalog number that's C4 and C2000. Now, because of place value, C2000 comes before C4, correct? Okay, so the second, third, and whatever other lines are read in place value. Okay? Next, it tells you the type of information, whether it's a book or a video, and you will see that here. Under location, it tells you the location of the book, the general collection. Now, let's talk about the different collections we have in the library. We have a general collection, which are books that you can check out. We have a reference collection that gives you information such as encyclopedias and dictionaries. Those are denoted by a call number of REF, and those books can't be checked out. We also have a children's collection, which is denoted by children's collection at the beginning of the call number. Those books can be checked out. We also have a early business college or early business collection, and those books can be checked out as well, and that's denoted by a CSB. Okay? Now, any questions about anything I've shown you so far? Good? Now, these are also other categories that are found in information. As you can see, ethics, history, social services, the Bible, the United States law. So if you were looking for information in capital punishment, you want to look at information that comes from in terms of the Bible, social services, so forth. You can click on one of those buttons and it will provide you with other information. Also, these are other terms that you can use. Criminal law, punishment, crucifixion, so forth and so on. Okay? So that provides you with more information on your topic. Next, let's look at NC Notes. This is an excellent resource which allows you to ask the librarian across the state of North Carolina questions about a particular topic. Say, for instance, you're on campus and you're looking for information or some capital punishment, but you can't locate a lot of information. What you can do is you can put your search string in this box here, and then you will send that information to NC Notes. If I'm online, because it's coming from Halifax, that question will come to me. If I'm not online or am busy, then I will go to the next librarian. Okay? And that's available to you as students or citizens of North Carolina. Questions about that? We're good? Okay. Any questions about the catalog? None? Next, let's go to electronic resources. Also, NC Knows is also available to you under the box with electronic resources as well. But the first one we're going to look at the online resources. All of our electronic resources are listed alphabetically, and then it also provides you with a blurb about what the database is about. Okay? You can find information from magazines and journals, as well as ebooks. Now, I noticed you probably noticed I'm saying in magazines and journals. Let's talk a little bit about what's the difference in the two. Okay? A magazine, basically, I like to say, gives you who, what, when, where, how, and why. It gives you small articles about a particular topic. A journal article is going to be longer, and it's going to be research-based. Journals also have less advertisements. Journals, at the end of the article, will have a bibliography. And so all those are differences in the two. When you get a chance, I would say, come to the library or go to the library and look at journal articles as opposed to magazines and articles. Okay? Now, notice I mentioned to you about the bibliography at the end of a journal article. Always print that or keep that in mind, because that's going to provide you with more information on your particular topic, because the author used those resources in his or her article, and you possibly can use those same articles in your research topic, because there may be something that he didn't use in his particular research or her research. Questions? Okay. Now, the first place we're going to go is to see. We're going to start off with Credo, or let's start with Britannica Online. So we're going to go to these. And we're going to start off with Britannica Online. And it's pretty much just like using the Britannica Encyclopedia, which you're probably used to using. You're able to search the Britannica, the Merriam-Webster's Dictionary, BBC News. Also, there are other research tools that are listed there. You can compare countries. They also have spotlight information on various people or topics according to the month. Okay? If you don't have a dictionary, you can always use the Merriam-Webster's Dictionary that's provided as well. Question? Okay? Let's do a search, and because today we are celebrating the 50th anniversary of the March on Washington, let's look at some information on Martin Luther King Jr. As you can see here, as you're typing, the database will help you in terms of locating information on your various topics. And so you don't necessarily have to type in the entire search string. So we can go here, and then it pulls up information on let's try that again. Okay. Under Martin Luther King, these are all the different topics under Martin Luther King Jr. So what we're going to do is that we're going to choose the first one, Martin Luther King Jr. And it's just like having an Encyclopedia Britannica in front of you. It lists information on Martin Luther King. Anything in blue are highlights that you can click on. Say, for instance, you're reading, and then you want to look at something on the Montgomery Improvement Association boycott. You can click on it, and it provides you with more information. Okay. Now, not only does it provide you information in written format, but say, for instance, you're doing a presentation and you want to infuse a video. What you can do is that you can come over here, you can look at the different videos or the different images. And let's just look at the first video here. So as you can see, you can not only get information in written format, but also to look at videos. Say, for instance, you're doing something on World War II, and you're dealing with D-Day. Not only can you read about D-Day, but you also can look at images as well as videos that they are available. Questions? Let's stop this here. Questions so far? Okay. Now, let's look at web links. I'm pretty sure all of you all like to use the World Wide Web to find information. As I said before, the World Wide Web has a lot of information that's good and a lot of information that is bad. What Britannica has done is they've gone on and looked at various websites to find information on various topics. So these sites you can trust. I would say that if you're using the internet for research purposes, to look at the credibility of the website. And when I say credibility, what am I talking about? Where the information is coming from. If it's coming from a site that has EDU or GOV, then one, you know it's coming from an education institution, or it's coming from a governmental entity, which basically you can track that information. Also, if the site has a bibliography that shows you where that information is coming from, or where the researcher gathered the information, you can go back and check to determine whether or not that information is credible. If you can't determine where that information came from, I wouldn't use it. It's good maybe as a starting point, but like I said, there's a lot of junk out there, but then there's a lot of good information. Okay? So those things I would look at. The address, if it's coming from an EDU or a GOV, if it has a bibliography page to show you where that information is coming from. Okay? Questions about that? Questions about what you've seen here as far as Britannica? None? Next, we're going to go to Credo reference. Credo reference is just like having the reference collection, as I told you about, right in front of you, but it's online. We have encyclopedias, dictionaries, bibliographies, quotations, crossword solver for any of you who like to play crossword puzzles, bilingual dictionaries. If you're taking a Spanish or foreign language course, you can use any one of the bilingual dictionaries. Okay? Now, let's put in a search here. Now, what it has done is looked at all of the different resources that we have in Credo, dictionaries, biographies, encyclopedias to find information on your topic. Okay? As you can see here, these are all of the entries. Anything highlighted in yellow are the terms that I used or that you will use when you're conducting research. To the left, it has other categories that you can use. You can look at capital punishment in social sciences, general reference books, history, law, literature. Entry type, whether it's an article, a definition, a biography, media, images, audio, or maps. And then persons that you can find more information in terms of capital punishment. Questions about that? Okay. Now, let's look at one of the resources, capital punishment in world of criminal justice from data. Okay. As you see here, this is the article in front of you. Just like I showed you in Britannica, anything highlighted in blue, you can click on to find more information on your topic. As you can see here, we use the term capital punishment, but you also can find information using the term death penalty. Okay? Questions about that? As we come down to the bottom of the page, anytime that you are using resources in a paper, you have to cite it, correct? Okay? At the bottom of the page, the database has put the article either in APA, Chicago, Harvard, or MLA. You just basically click on the particular word, MLA or APA, and it puts it in that particular format for you. Okay? It always tells you, however, because it's listed here does not mean that that person didn't make a mistake in terms of how they cite something. So it's always good to actually go back to an MLA manual or APA manual to make sure that it's actually in the correct format using the periods and so on. Questions about that? let's go back to the top of the page. Say, for instance, you're at a PC and you can't print this particular information. You can put your cursor over the piece of mail and you can email this to yourself. Or if you put it over the disk, you can actually save it to a jump drive or a disk that you want. Okay? So you can either print it, save it, or send it to yourself by email. Okay? To the left, it also gives you other related resources. Remember I showed you CC Link, Halifax Community College's catalog. Once you've started, if you decide to start at Credo, then you can go to our catalog. You can go to WorldCat. All these other resources that we're going to show you, you're able to find more information on your topic. So Credo is a great place to start. Okay? Questions about that? Good? All right. Let's just clear up some of these buttons here. The next we want to come down to is NC Live. NC Live is a storehouse of information, whether it be in book format, ebook format, as well as a magazine and journal format. There are a number of databases that we're going to show you that's going to provide you with a great amount of information. Okay? Now, the more you use NC Live, the more that you will become familiar with the different databases, such as Academic Search Complete, Masterfile Complete, and others. However, if you're new to this and you're not sure which database to use, what NC Live has allowed you to do is to put different databases in various topics. Say, for instance, you're looking for something on books and literature, business management, history and biography, so forth and so on. Okay? Let's say for today's purposes, we want to look at something on current issues. If you click on the blue, these are the different resources through NC Live dealing with current issues, Academic Search Complete, so forth and so on. Okay? Now, let's look at Academic Search Complete. And this is the interface. Okay? You put your search stream in here. Now, you're also able to limit the information that you find. The reason why I said that is this. Let's say, for instance, we want to look at, I'm going to use capital punishment here. Or let's use ADHD since we've used that. Capital punishment a lot. Now, there are 15,283 articles on ADHD. Clearly, that's too many for you to use in a research paper. You're not going to read 15,000 articles trying to conduct a research paper. So, how do you limit what you find? These three words are going to be your best helpers, and they are called Boolean helpers. And, or, and not. Let's look at what they do. First of all, let's look at and. ADHD, and let's say, for instance, we want to look at attention deficit and children. So we go from 15,000 to 13,000. So you can see it limits your search, right? Now, let's look at the term or. What that's going to do is that's going to tell it to look for the first term or the second term. When you use the term and, both terms have to be available in the article. So let's look at ADHD, or let's look at information on ADD as well. And so you go to 148,000 dealing with both terms. So you'll find information on attention ADHD as well as ADD. Let's say, for instance, we want to look at ADHD, but we don't want to look at anything on medication. So we use the term not medication. And so we went from the original 15,000 to 13,000. Now, you can use other terms to combine terms to locate more information. You can also limit your search because you can see it starts here All of our resources started in 1956. Clearly, you not want to go back to 1956 to find information. So we can bring this up to, let's say, 2003 for 10 years worth of information. And that brings it down to 10,000. You can also say you only want scholarly peer-reviewed journals, which we talked about the difference in magazines and journals earlier. And then we dropped it down to 9,000. We can also use the term "and" to maybe say ADHD and children and African Americans. You can see how we can use those terms. Questions about that so far? Good. Okay. Now, what I've done, because I didn't ask it to look at full text, that pulls up all information in this particular database on ADHD. That's important because when you're starting off your research paper, you want as much information as possible. And you say, well, Mr. Finney, if I can't find the article, what good does that do me? Well, if we don't have the article available to you online, then we can get that information through you through interlibrary loan. What interlibrary loan is that we ask you for all this bibliographic information here, the title, the name of the journal, the page number, the issue, and the date. And then what we would do is that we will find the closest school to us, and we'll have that article sent to you free of charge. Okay? There is no limit to the number of articles that you can receive during a semester or during your lifetime here at Halifax Community College. You can also get books through this method as well. What we would do is that we will go to, again, to the closest school to us, have the book sent to you. You will have that book for about a month, and then you will have to send that book, or we will send that book back to the school. Okay? Any fines that they levy if the book is overdue, you will be responsible for. The article is yours, free of charge. You do not have to return it. Okay? Now, let's see what we're looking at. As I said, this is the title. Now, to find the article, it will either be in PDF or HTML format. This one is in PDF format, and you will click there, and it pulls up the actual article. Okay? To the right, you're able to print it, email it to yourself. If you want to cite it, that's also available to you as well. Okay? Now, before you actually look at the article itself, you can click on Detailed Record, as I did, and then it provides you with keywords, as well as, in some cases, it will give you the abstract. Now, you always want to look at the abstract of an article because that limits the amount of time that you have to spend finding information. Say, for instance, that title may have looked perfect for you, but the abstract does not look like something that's going to provide you with information on your topic. And so instead of having to look at the article, read hundreds of pages potentially, you can read the abstract and find out whether or not that article is of worthy information for you. Okay? Questions about that? None? We're good? Let's go back to, we're going to go back into NC Live. Now, there are a number of different databases in NC Live that's going to provide you with magazine and journal articles. I'm not going to show you all of them today because the way you search is exactly the same. The interface may look different, but the way you search is exactly the same. Okay? Questions about that? Now, I also said that you have access to ebooks as well, right? This is the interface for electronic books. I'm going to use the term business. Using the term business, there are 23,000 books in business. As before, you can use and, combine terms, and say, for instance, you're looking for business, but you want to look under micro business, macro business, small businesses. You can use those terms to narrow your search. And then, book is available to you full text. Scroll down. You can look at the table of contents. Part 1. And it pulls up the book, just like you have it in hand. I just looked up the index. Information is there. You can print it, save it to yourself just like in the other databases as well. Questions about that? Good? Okay. Now all of these different databases, I said, they have been broken out from different resources. The interface is going to look different, but the way that you search them is going to be exactly the same. Okay? Now, one last thing I'm going to show you is Citation Machine. This will allow you to put in information about your book, internet, site, or whatever information that you have, and it will put it in MLA, APA, Arabian, or Chicago style for you. Now, let's say, for instance, we want to use APA. Let's click on APA here. And then let's say that the information that we have is a book. What we would do then is we'll put in the information. Let's say for our purposes today, I'll use my name. And then, if we had the publisher, information, we ask it to make the citation. Now, you have two things here. One, this is the information that you're going to use in APA for your works cited page. At the bottom, in-text citation shows you how to cite something inside the paper. Remember, if you are doing a research paper, if you take something out of the book word for word, then you put it in quotes. You will use this at the end to cite. If you are paraphrasing something, you do not have to use quotes. You just put this at the end of the quote. Okay? Any questions? That's basically the library in a nutshell. Hopefully after this demonstration that you will be able to go out and use the resources here at Halifax Community College. Always remember that after you have either looked at this demonstration or have actually tried to use it, the resources. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to come and ask any member of my staff for assistance. Thank you very much for your time.